Hi everyone, my name is Kiran Budrani and I'm currently the Adaptive Learning Project Manager and Instructional Designer at the University of North Carolina in Charlotte. Today we come together as a panel of experts who have played both roles as instructional designer and faculty at one point of our careers. We are unique in the sense that we see both sides of the coin. We know that the working relationship between the instructional designer and faculty can either make or break the instructional design project. So we want to talk about this. What makes this relationship work? What are the barriers? What are those points of conflict? How can we better manage collaborative teams so that there's a high sense of trust and respect and understanding between the instructional designer and faculty? We each share today our experiences and put forward concrete examples that have largely influenced our design practices and beliefs. We invite you to participate and bring forth your examples and experiences too. In my case, I am interested in the methods and tools that are being used to communicate between the instructional designer and faculty on their course design ideas. Design essentially is a black box. It's hard to explain, it's hard to show, and design ideas often live in our mind. How do we make our design ideas visible? How do we explain this in a way that the faculty understands? And in turn, how does the faculty explain their design ideas so that the instructional designer and them come to a shared understanding of the problem and the solution? Let's talk more in this session.
Hi, I'm Patrick Lowenthal. I'm an associate professor at Boise State University, and I'm one of the discussants to talk about the relationships between instructional designers and faculty. I had kind of a non-traditional route to becoming a faculty member. Over the years, I was an administrator of a teacher education program. Then I spent about 4 years in a clinical faculty role while working on my PhD. Then I spent a couple years as an academic technology coordinator and instructional designer in similar roles assisting faculty. Some of that time without my PhD, some of the time with my PhD, and then finally as an assistant associate professor. And so, really, what I'm interested in talking about is how we get along and how do we show respect and work well, whether you're the instructional designer without a doctorate or terminal degree working with a faculty member, or how, if you have a PhD and you're a faculty member or even an instructional designer, you work well with others, because I have experiences throughout my career where I didn't feel respected or valued because I didn't have the right credential or I didn't come from the right school or whatever it might be. So I'm really interested in how we kind of be successful working with others from different backgrounds. Thank you.
Hello, I am Sherry Conklin. Currently, I am an assistant professor at UNC Wilmington, and I'm in my second year as an assistant professor. Previously, I was the director of e-learning, where I oversaw a team of instructional designers. I was also employed as an instructional designer for 9 years in higher education. As an instructional designer, I worked with faculty to design, develop, and facilitate online courses. And as a director, I worked with programs that were planning to move online. One case I'd like to bring up is the ability to break down barriers between IDs and faculty. For instance, many faculty come to an initial meeting with preconceived notions about online teaching and about the role of the ID. I look forward to discussing various strategies for approaching faculty and meeting them at their starting point to ensure successful courses and programs for the learners. I look forward to our future discussions.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rebecca Race, and I'm an online learning experience designer at the Colorado School of Mines in Golden, Colorado. I'll also be one of the discussants today looking at the relationship between instructional designers and faculty. One of the things to think about is that you and the faculty come from a really varied background, right? My background was in working with persons with disabilities. So I have a speech language pathology degree as well as working in therapeutic recreation. My PhD is instructional design. I'm also an adjunct faculty. I am also a podcaster. I am also the president of a PFLAG group. So I have a lot of moving parts that make me up, as do your faculty. So the thing that I'd like to explore in our breakout room would be meeting the faculty or your SMEs where they are and using that and using your background and the experiences that you both collectively have to create a more collaborative environment. So I look forward to seeing you in our breakout room.
Hi, my name is Camille Dixon-Dean, and I'm at UTS, which is in Sydney, Australia. My role there is a senior lecturer, higher ed, learning design. As part of my role, I'm an academic as well as a researcher. As in bundled there, I teach as well as research, as well as I support academics in their learning design problems within the faculty. What that means is that I help them solve their problems for the individualized teaching, but also look strategically at the disciplinary knowledge, the faculty level knowledge, as well as the university strategic objectives from a learning and design point of view. Having said that, the role and relationship between a learning designer and an academic is very, how should I say, it's a very tenuous and very rewarding relationship, both from both sides, having been on both sides. All I can say is that for this session, there's a lot of lessons learned, a lot of knowledge is on this panel to share you different contexts and the value of asking those questions about the profession, as well as about where we sit within this sphere of education. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts and just for an exciting discussion overall in the panel. Thanking you. See you.
Hello, my name is Beth Oyarzin, and I am currently a clinical assistant professor at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. This is my 4th year in that role. Prior to that, I was an instructional designer at the University of North Carolina Wilmington for 9 years. In that role, I was assisting faculty in designing and developing online courses. And the case I wanted to talk about was the case of the resistant faculty who comes to building or the instructional design relationship with a resistance to the project in general. For example, in my previous role as an instructional designer, we would have programs that would decide to move online. And faculty within those programs were resistant to that idea, not all, but some. And so they came to the instructional designer already resistant to the project. For example, I had one faculty who I had an initial meeting with and began talking about the course design and the objectives. And the immediate reaction was, I don't need objectives. The objectives are for education faculty. So what are the strategies to sort of diffuse that and create buy-in with the resistant faculty? And I look forward to talking with you in our breakout session, which will begin after all the roundtables get the chance to introduce their sessions. And I hope to see you in our breakout session soon.